Welcome to Ikon. Ikon, your complete solution for a consolidation software. This is the main screen. On the main screen, you get a menu on the left hand side. There's a home page, dashboard, companies, create company, company group, upload trial balance, and user guide. These are the various icons which can be clicked. As we go ahead, you click on create company. Once you do that, you get a basic form about how the company has to be created. There are various fields which are required to be filled up: the name, the company code, currency, business segment, the accounting standard, geographic segment, reporting from, and the reporting to month. Once you do that, click on submit and your company is created. These are the list of all the companies which have been created in the product so far. Let's say ABCD Limited. I click on ABCD Limited. Once I do that, I get all the business units created under ABCD Limited. So there is a HO, which is a default unit. There is branch 1. Let's say we create a new business unit, branch 2, mentioning the location, the segment, and the currency. Once I do that, I click on save and I end up creating one more branch under this company. Let's go ahead. Let's move to the field upload trial balance. When I click on upload trial balance, I get a screen with the following information. I have to click on choose file. Once I do that, there's an Excel file. I need to be clear the information in the Excel file has to be mentioned in the appropriate columns. So let's say in A column, I've got descriptions, I've got opening balance in B, I've got debit in C, credit in D, and closing balance in E. I have to appropriately mention all these relevant column numbers in the form which comes up. So I mentioned debit, opening, credit. I also have to mention the start row. So my figures are starting from the second row. I can click on view to see the trial balance on screen, and then I click on submit. Once I do that, the trial balance is uploaded. Let's again go to ABCD Limited and let's view this trial balance by clicking on the view icon. I click on view and I see the trial balance which has been uploaded. So it's a testimonial of the figures which were there in the Excel sheet, and now the same figures are visible in the trial balance which is uploaded in the system. I can even download that trial balance from the system. Let's go to group creation. I go to company group. I click on the list of groups. Let's say I create an alphabet group. I mention the name and click on save. Bingo, the alphabet group is created now. Now I want to add companies to this alphabet group. Let's say I select the companies. There are around 10 companies which have been selected. I select all those companies and I click on the arrow which is pointed at serial number 2, and then I click on save. Once I do that, I form a group with various group companies. I can then go to the report template function. I go to the report template function. I can create report fields individually by mentioning the field name, the type of the report field, the level, whether it is a label, formula, whether it is a mapping function. Then I click on create and I can then create a report field. Then I go and create the names of these templates. List of templates, I give a report name. I click on create. So I end up creating a template. Let's now go inside a template and let us add fields to that template. So I go to the template. On the right hand side, you can see the different fields. I click on the check boxes and then I add. So that's how I create a template. So let's say I created current assets under assets. It asks me for different items which are now to be created or added under current assets. Let's say I click on stock. I click on add under current assets, and that's how I create stock under current assets. And as I go on, I can keep on creating multiple items, and I can keep the hierarchical structure of the template in mind while I create these templates. Once I do save, the template is saved with all the report fields. Then let's go to the company group. click on company templates. I now need to assign these templates to the company, the different companies in the group, whether at a standalone level or at a consolidated level. This is keeping in mind that we may have a company using a different template at a standalone level and a different template at a consolidated level. So this is how I allocate, I save, and that's how the table gets formed. Then I again go to the group. I click on hierarchies. I now need to establish relationship between all the companies in the group. I click on hierarchies. I get all the companies which are there in that group. I click on save. Let's say this is a hierarchy. There's ABCD, which has got 3 companies under it, one of which is subsidiary, one is associate, one is a JV, and then there are subsequent relationships again at a layer 2. Once I create ABCD Limited as the parent, I have to add child. So this is the hierarchy, simple, and then I click on add child. I mention the details of that child, whether the consolidation method is equity, full, LBLA, or a proportionate consolidation. I mention a start date, end date. Once I mention all the information, which is compulsory, marked by the star, I click on save. And that's how I can create all the companies in the hierarchy. Once these companies are created, we need to know how the projects are enabled. So I click on project. Once I do that, I get a small form. So project is actually the area where you need to work. You click on name, description, the accounting standard, the currency, the start date of the project. Let's say it's for financial year 17-18. Once I do that, I click on save and the project is created. And then I click on the trial balance field in that project. And I can see the different business units, the different companies which are there in that project. Let's say I click on HO ABCD Limited. Once I click on HO ABCD Limited, the trial balance, which is already uploaded, now needs to be mapped to the chart of accounts. I have an option whether I can either map these items on a manual basis, or I can use the map automatically function. So since I have already done a mapping of these trial balances with the chart of accounts, I can click on map automatically. It would then ask me whether you want it at a group level or you want to import it from any other project. So let's say I click on either group or import. If I create the import function, it would ask me from which project you want to import it, from which company you want to import these relationships. And then I click on go. Once I do that, I get a mapping which is automatically done. So it's just a matter of few seconds that you click on map automatically and everything is mapped to the chart of accounts. You then save it. If let's say I want to unmap it, I can do it by a single click. That's it. Then after mapping, I again go to my projects. I click on standalone. I click on the company. Let's say HO ABCD Limited. Once I do that, if there are any items which are still to be mapped, the screen will highlight. I need to map it either manually or I need to map it automatically using the automatic function, and then I save it. Once the chart of accounts are mapped to the trial balance, the same chart of accounts need to be mapped to the templates. So this is the template which we created at the start, and on this chart of accounts, again I have an option of either mapping it automatically at a group level or importing it from any other project. Once I do that, I mapped my chart of accounts to the report template. Then I go to and click on reports. Once I do that, I can either generate a standalone report or a consolidation report. The screen would also tell me how much percentage mapping has been done. So that's a very good indicator of whether I need to go ahead and still generate the report or do I need to map it completely and then generate it. There's also a facility of uploading multiple trial balances. The system would automatically take only the latest trial balance, but at the same time the system gives you a facility to change that selection by default and go to any other trial balance while generating your report. Let's say I click on standalone, I click on HO ABCD, the system pops up a box where I need to save this balance sheet. I click on save. Yes, there it is. That's the ABCD Limited balance sheet at a standalone level. There are assets. This is the balance sheet. These are the liabilities. This is the profit and loss account. That's your schedules. There you go. Thank you.